Obrigado, Gerard. Bom, agora eu gostaria de convidar para proferir a próxima palestra o Michael Rivers. O Michael Rivers, ele é diretor do Expedite, que é uma consultoria em gestão da inovação, e ele possui 25 anos de experiência em marketing e marcas, sendo 12 anos na KPMG, Monitor e na Payroll Systems. E ele vai falar sobre o NHS Innovations London, que é um caso muito bem sucedido de inovação aberta na área de saúde.
Good morning. I'm sorry I can't do this in Portuguese. I promise I'll do better next year. I'd like to give you an overview of innovation in healthcare in London, and I will move from product innovation into a little bit more open innovation, and that will dovetail nicely to my colleague, Professor Henry Chesborough. NHS is the third largest employer in the world, 1.3 million employees. Employs most science graduates in the UK, has a huge budget, £90 billion. We're trying to reduce that at the moment for obvious reasons. And nearly 1 million patients visit their GP every day. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people who know a lot of stuff, and most people don't know what's going on anywhere else. So what does NHSIL do? Well, we manage innovation for the NHS in London. So the organisation was set up at the end of 2005 to commercialise ideas and innovation and make sure that intellectual property that originated in the NHS returned commercial income to the trust that it originated from. So in the London area, there are 75 trusts, and those are hospitals or collections of hospitals. They may be research units attached to hospitals, and that includes 170,000 staff. So NHSIL, which comprises 22 industry professionals with technology management backgrounds in R&D from international groups, looks after this. And the customers for NHSIL are the trusts. So there you can see a breakdown of the acute trusts, the primary trusts, and some of the specialist trusts. And the objective of the organisation is really to improve patient well-being and to do that faster. What we're trying to do, obviously, is return cash to the trusts for the intellectual property that they originate. And in doing so, we need to do two things. Number one, make sure that what we produce reduces healthcare costs through some kind of efficiency, and also stimulate those inventors, those clinicians, those people that do this every day to come up with good ideas. That's great, but what we need to do is to move those good ideas through to adoption. We need to move them through to market and de-risk them for the next buyer or the next developer. So in essence, there are three things that we do. So when we go out and we see inventors in these healthcare contexts, we give them three things. We give them time, because they don't have time because they have a job. And we have people with backgrounds that will be useful for them in drug discovery, biotechnology, molecular biology, etc. You can read all of those. The second thing is that most inventors don't have is expertise and know-how. So I've got a great idea. How do I actually move it forward? I don't have any engineering know-how. I don't know about intellectual property. How am I going to manage the project? And by the way, actually this is going to cost you some money. So the organisation provides proof of concept funding, or if it's indicated, seed funding to start up a business. So I'll let you read some of the achievements, but what you see highlighted there in red is a high volume of disclosures that come through. 1,345 in 5 years, that's kind of 400-ish a year. That's a lot. That's a lot. And you can see, there's a pipeline, and these come through to market. And in 5 years, if you compare that against the tech transfer organisation from a research institution, the organisation is doing much better. Look at the right-hand side. 2009-10, 425 disclosures a year. Some of those are little ideas, some of those are big proposals. So, the important thing for us is to kill bad ideas quickly as possible, because we only have a certain amount of capacity, and if we stop, we will just get avalanched. So you can see that we stop 80% of the projects, more than 80% of the projects, in less than 10 days. Only 8% of the products that of the ideas that we see actually reach R&D or business development, and we might make some poor decisions going into that phase, so only 6 to 7% reach market. We're working on about 80 to 100 projects at any one time, with about 20 in development, 20 in commercialization, and a lot of licensing going on. Interesting. And the way that we do that is we have developed and we operate a high throughput innovations management process, stage gate. At disclosure stage, we want to find any reason to kill the project. At pre-screening, any reason to kill the project. At evaluation, any reason to kill the project. That might be associated with the technology feasibility, or the market viability. If we can't see that that product could get to market and return revenues, we won't do it. We're extremely mean. So that's very interesting. That's the story about product innovation, and that's very successful. And my job is to show other organizations around the world how to create that capability, how to build pipeline, how to sharpen evaluation, how to create the capability and the capacity and the measures and the process performance and the infrastructure in order to do this. All good, all good, all good. So the new agenda in healthcare, with the economic meltdown, with the focus on value, is deliver more service, deliver better service, do it for less. So you remember, 90 billion a year, 1.3 million people. So what are we going to do? We're going to cut that budget from 90 by $20 billion by 2014. That drives a lot of innovation. So the Department of Health is standing there with a big megaphone saying, patients first, more quality, better healthcare outcomes, less bureaucracy. They want to cut management by 45% in the same period. Increase efficiency. Good idea. Good idea. So, clinicians are in the driving seat, hospitals, providers, free to innovate, very strong incentives to adopt best practice and share it. So, good. We can continue, we can discover, deploy new technologies. That takes a while. It's a 5-year cycle until things get to market. Or we need to implement some ideas for operational performance improvement. We need to find improved ways, new ways, more efficient ways to deliver those services. So what you're asking is 1.3 million people who we have programmed to think in this particular way to deliver, since 1945, layers of administration, of processes, of ways of doing things, of standards, etc. Please change your behavior. Please change your attitude. Think about how to improve what we're doing. Think about ways to reduce cost. Think. Work together. How do we achieve that? How do we achieve that? How do you encourage all of your people to become more innovative? But what's that? Innovative. Okay, we need everybody to be engaged. We need everybody to work with each other.